I try to have as much energy as I possibly can have. I had a really bad migraine earlier, but nonetheless, I am with you guys to finish off this 8-week boot camp. You guys have been amazing coming in the winter time, when it's cold outside, coming to get this knowledge. So I appreciate you guys doing such and just finishing off these next 2 days. We're going to go back over our spreadsheet of what we've recapped. If we have any questions, any concerns, things that we need to talk about on here to make you guys have a successful 2026. So I said we would start back at the number 8. Um, and we were talking about last night seller representation, positioning distressed properties, on market versus off market strategies, managing expectations, and solving problems for sellers. Uh, in the seller's market, when you're always going after listings, again, either with a buyer or a seller, you have to be the problem solver in all situations, right? So if again we did role playing this morning and we talked with we went through a few scenarios, and I think Miss Bessie gave us a scenario where like with her client, like problem solving with them, right? And that's basically becoming that person as well for your seller, is what problem do I solve for you? Like what do I do best in my career that makes a seller want to do work with me, right? Makes a seller want to work with me. So again, having your ducks in the row is really important with your seller presentation documentation, having all of that together. Not only that, having your letters, like we went over a couple of weeks ago, Java wrote a letter to the seller just explaining, hi, my name is Java. I am, your listing agent with Century 21 Impact. This is what's going to happen. The first thing that's going to happen is I'm going to have you sign a listing agreement, right? And because that's my pathway into doing everything that I say next. The next thing that's going to happen is I'm going to prepare some marketing documentation. I'm going to be sending that marketing documentation for a broker's open to all brokers that have closed in the area, right, to come see this property. I'm also going to be prospecting. So I'm going to be calling some agents to see that they just closed or they're under contract if they have multiple offers in the area because this property fits the scenario. And in addition to that, I'll be offering those agents to give me the agents who submitted deals, and I'm going to offer them something in return for it. What you get when you work with me, you get a team of highly qualified individuals. Either if you guys are working on a team or individually, you get me. This is my attorney list contact. This is if you need a moving company, if you guys are not associated with a moving company, be very problem solving for them, right? This is the moving company that I can refer you to. I've worked with them a lot of times, leave the moving up to them. What happens when you're selling your property is if you live in the property, here's contacts for People Gas, Light Company, all of these people, because these are the companies that you're going to need to call to disconnect your utilities, right? Some of the cool things that I become a problem solver with. Yeah, could it be information that a seller can automatically know or whatever the case is? But imagine it coming off as I am the professional, and in the professionalism, this is what I offer to you guys, right? Here's going to be something that you're going to need to switch your mail over. This is the link to do that right away, right? I want to be able to be your guide into selling your house, right? If I'm coming in and telling you some repairs or whatever the case is, I just had a client call me today and was like, hey, we're selling some lots for her, but she was like, look, I really need to sell my property. And she was like, my property got so much in it that I just moved from. It's boxes everywhere. It literally serves as a storage unit, but I need to put it on the market. And, rest assured, I told her, this is what I do. I do X, Y, and Z, blah, blah, blah. Now, I won't do it. I'll refer it out to an agent, but I won't do it. But these are the things that I do. Me and Brianna just listed a pretty good property a few days ago, and Brianna went in, she had her picture person ready. We did the listing agreement. We had to sit there for a mold situation. We got all of that taken care of. I didn't have to talk to the tenant. Brianna talked to the tenant, told the tenant, hey, what days is best to show the property for you? Bop, 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 bop. All of that is taken care of. So we won't cross paths. So the tenant in the property won't be calling him like, y'all disturbing me constantly, whatever the case is. We've already established that. So again, your seller presentation is very important when you're working with the seller because you don't want to just be like, let me sell your house. You want to tell them why they should sell their house with you. Again, we're working on our business. We are not working on a hustle. When you hustle, you go by night. So things go wrong, deals fall apart, things like that. If I have a business, I've structured it where I want the higher percentage of my deals to close than fall out. And so my expertise in my area of moving people along with me to the closing table is me literally putting together my seller's representation for that. Who right now is having problems with that? And y'all gonna talk today.
I would like some assistance with that if possible, please.
Okay, this is Brianna O.
Yes.
Okay, great. Yeah, because literally, even you can do all the phone calls you want, you can do everything you want. If you don't, your follow-up game is not good and your representation afterward is not good, then you're actually just did all that calling in vain. So, yeah, we definitely will work with you in regards to that with that situation. And I apologize. I was supposed to meet with you today, but I'm telling you, my head, like I had to come lay down for a second to even do this training. So definitely, this is our last week of boot camp. So again, I'm not going to be doing as much training. We will still have trainings, but not 3 days a week from me giving them. You may have them 3 days a week from other people in the field and experts coming in. But I'm glad you spoke up about that because that is everything positioning yourself. So once you position yourself, like you don't ever have to worry about it. So getting a listing then is like, up, I already got all my documentation that's about to go to the seller. The seller could appreciate. I've already got my folder ready of things not to do while you're selling your property. Blah, 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 blah. I've already given them all of this. This is what you're going to expect. An appraisal should happen within this time frame. You can expect an inspection to be done on the property. You're not selling it as is. You're selling it through the market. You can expect to have to do some repairs. What's going to happen when you get that repair sheet? We don't have to tell them everything, but we don't want it to be a deal breaker. So we want to accommodate some of those things, whether you want to give them a credit or whether you want to fix them yourself. But these are the things that I tell my sellers. So when the inspection lists come and they like, I'm not fixing none of that stuff. We've already had this discussion when we first started off as client agent relationship. We've already had the expectations. And when you told me in the beginning, I don't fix things. I don't have anybody that can help me fix that. We already suggested that we give them a credit. So let's go into Chat GPT and see how much it would cost to fix this item, fix that item, and then we'll accordingly give them a credit and see where we go with that. But I've already kind of showed you that and positioned myself in that. So once you do that, you already have an advantage because it's coming. Any other questions around seller representations? No? Okay, great. Working with investors. Again, we've talked about this, really went into deep details of working with investors. And, if you're that agent that's working with investors, again, find your niche and stick to it. Quit bouncing around. Quit just being like, oh, I got somebody, this, and this. If you want to be a buyer's agent, right? If you have, some people have compassion around actually making homeowners out of renters, right? They have a compassion with that, and that's where they want to work in that space. Be the best of you in that space, which means that I'm not making calls. I'm not sitting up every day making phone calls. What I'm doing is I'm working my CRM system, I'm working my social media platforms and handles. I'm going to be going out to complexes. I'm going to be trying to work with insurance companies. my business plans should strictly stick on me becoming that kind of an agent, a home buyer agent. Again, if I want to work with investors, I want to have a solid 10 investors. As Pierre stated yesterday, guys, one investor pretty much will give him like 6 to 10 deals, right? And so, what I would strongly suggest is if you're an investor agent, stick in that arena. Now, what that usually means is I will become a seller's agent because if I feed you, you feed me. So if I give you the front up deal, I expect you to give me back that back end deal when you're finished rehabbing the property. And I'm going to stay on you so you can remember me. I'm going to be coming by in phases like, okay, you know what I'm saying? I'm going to be like, look, I'm going to be social media in this because I already have people, a lot of my agents in my office that work with buyers. So what I would be doing is like, phase one. Oh, I would tell them when you get ready to have your inspection from the city of Chicago, call me because I want to show them what's behind the walls, right? That the city of Chicago, okay, what's behind the walls. You're buying a safe house because all I'm doing is working with investors, guys. So don't it for those that are like, I want to close 50 houses, but I want to work with investors, buyers, sellers, renter. I want to work with all these different people or whatever. It's like, yeah, you could do that, but I hope you got a heck of a team behind you because you better know that once you're saying these things, what does that actually look like, right? Like, what does my time best serve? If I'm a buyer's agent, like I want to be at open houses, hoping buyers walk through the door. I want to be at seminars. I want to be at other social events, career events. I want to be at other social events, even if it's like a college graduating, right? If you could reach out to colleges like, hey, I would love the opportunity of being a vendor at the graduation, right? To sit out there and say, you graduated, what's next? I know you're applying for jobs. All you need is that offer letter to buy a house. Obviously, you will want a college in Illinois. But things like that or whatever. Like you guys stick with what you want. If I'm a person that want to deal with high-end volume clients and I want to be a buyer's agent, I want to work with the hospitals because they have doctors programs, lending programs at most of these hospitals and things of that nature. Learn your forte and stick with it. Like I often see too many agents like scattered brain, like, oh, I just want a deal. No, you want to be strategic because once you're strategic, deals come your way, right? If I work with investors, that's all I want to build my relationship is on my investors, right? I want my investors to buy with me, sell with me, buy with me, sell with me, buy with me, sell with me, right? But I want them to know that I'm so knowledgeable and I already have these properties pre-sold before they're even finished because that's how good I am. That's what your investor is looking for you to be. Is so efficient and good, like, oh, my agent got it covered. Not only did they find me the property from the beginning, they actually also closed the property with me at the end. And that means a lot to any investor. Who's working with investors?
I am.
Who is that, Donna?
Hmm.
Yeah, Donna's really good with working it with investors, right? And with working with investors, she knows like I need to constantly give them inventory. But I can imagine, even after talking to you and Pierre yesterday, like if that is a team that's forming, I hope it is, but if that is a team that's forming, you guys should plot it out like, okay, how many investors are we going to actually start with, right? So, like, I want a strong list of investors. Are you going to be the person that's trying to find them the off-market inventory? How many connections do you have with off-market inventory, right? How many connect, or am I the one to make sure that these investors close back with us, go through us, and all of that stuff? Like, these are the things that it's like, what way do we actually see it coming? And if you sit down and structure that, that's how it is because any savvy investor wants to make sure that you serve them a purpose, right? Do you know how many people they get that call them and say, "Oh, you want to see, I want to sell your properties. I want to do that." What purpose do you serve me? I want to build a long-term investor relationship. I want my investors. I've had investors that's been working with me for 10, 15 years, right, in the industry. Like they call me and be like, they may take breaks. They may be like, I'm out for a minute. I jump back in for a moment, right? Like, but when as soon as they jump back in, guess who they gonna call? Me, because they know I'm gonna find them a deal. So their expectations for me is no matter what it is, they're always going to have my number and they're always going to say, "Hey, you got any deals on the table right now? I'm jumping back in. I got some money I want to spend." So building up your investor portfolio is really, really huge, and making sure that that's successful because some people just eat off investors all year. An investor could provide you a couple of $100,000 a year, especially if you're wholesaling with them. Again, if I have an investor that's buying a property in Inglewood, a 2-unit building in Inglewood, 9 times out of 10 with that investor alone, I'm probably going to make like $25,000 off that one deal. So imagine, and the reason because I'm gonna charge 10 on the front end. On the back end, I'm gonna give you a discount because you sold it back with me. But on that back end, I want another 10, right? $20,000, right? Because if you selling it for 480, $500,000, I deserve 20,000. I may take a haircut, but that $20,000, just imagine if that one investor does 3 deals with you a year, that's $60,000 from one investor, right? And so then I want to start adding to that investor portfolio. And if I can get 5 of them, I'm at $300,000. I don't know. I'm learning in who I am now, because we all go through phases where life changes us, right? Oh boy, I don't want to do this. Like, I can't tell you that I'm going through that change right now. And with that change, I don't want to work this hard. Like, I don't want to work that hard, right? I don't know what your number is to make you say, I'm good, right? And I don't think necessarily being rich or being wealthy, a lot of people want billions of dollars. I can't even tell you that I would want to work for billions of dollars because those people are a little bit delulu. They don't have the best life because all they're doing is working, working, working. Like, I want to enjoy this part of life. And I can't tell you what that means for you, but I can tell you what that means for me. That means that I want to come at the office at 9 o'clock. I want to leave the office by 4 or 5 o'clock. On some days, I may want to leave at 1 o'clock, the office because that's just how I feel, but because I've done what I needed to do with working, right? And then there are some days, well, you know what? I may not come in until this time, but I may stay to 10 o'clock at night because I got my late birds that come in a little bit later. So these are the things that I'm learning. Like, I don't want to work that hard, you know? And I think that's learning what your forte is and sticking to it. Again, right now I got deals on the table. I'm working out deals with people. I don't want to do that, right? I constantly have people calling me like, "Hey, I want to buy this, I want to do that," just because I'm known in real estate, which is really good, but I don't want to sell. So I'm just going to refer them out to an agent. I had one lady call me today and was like, uh, yeah, I didn't even like, and it's none of our agents, right? She called me today and was like, I was working with this one agent purchasing this property. And I'm like, the first thing I did was cut off. If you were working with an agent, call that agent. Why are you calling me? Like, leave me alone. Like, why are you calling me? Don't call me after you talk to an agent. And she's like, well, you're always busy. I said, girl, I got lots of agents that work for me. So don't tell me about I'm always busy. But nonetheless, she said, and this is how some of your clients look at you. She said, I didn't even like the way she showed up. Her hair wasn't combed. She was 15 minutes late. And the agent that was showing the property was like on top of everything. Like, she was on target. She was like very professional, very everything. I felt embarrassed to even have that agent with me. This is how agents look at us. Like, how do you show up? How does the professionalism look, right?
Do you mean a client or another agent?
The client, said that she didn't like the way the agent looked.
Oh yeah, you got to be presentable in all situations, no matter what. You can't wake up in the morning and come out with like your gym outfit on and go running around. You got to be ready at all times. They say stay ready so you don't have to get ready.
Bingo, Patrice. And that's the thing is like everybody does not understand that. Now, mind you, she wasn't talking about one of my agents, but she was talking about an agent that I actually knew. And I'm like, yeah, she was 15 minutes late. Like I was there. The other agent, the showing agent was there. We were there. She came looking like whatever, like I don't even like her. Like I don't even like her representation of how she feel like she gonna represent me, right? She like, I ain't like it at all. And I'm like, okay, I get that part. She likes, and I ain't signed no document with her, so ain't no loyalty there. And so with that being said, it made me think about like my agent. So she was like, you got to pair me with a really sharp agent, Tawana, like a really, really sharp agent. Don't give me anybody that's going to play with me or do whatever with me. And so it really brought me back to like, okay, then I have to like quietly step back and look at my roster and be like, oh, okay, now I love all my agents, I like the way you guys show up. You got to be timely. And you know what I'm saying? You got to look presentable to these clients because you're asking them, for the most part, you're asking them to actually uh sell a home for you. Like you're asking them to actually like do some things for you. I mean, give you some money. Like that's what you're asking them to do is like, I want to earn $20,000 with you, and you didn't even show up like you wanted to earn $20,000 with them. So these are things that you guys got to consider as well. Lending and financial partners. Um, who has relationships on the call with their actual lenders? Who has a long-lasting relationship?
I do. I've been working with one lender for 2 years.
Okay, who is that?
Delane.
Okay, Delane, that lender that you've been working with for 2 years, do you wholeheartedly trust them that they're going to work in your best interest of getting that client to the closing table?
Yes.
Awesome. And that's how it should be. Literally, the fact that you guys are not saying anything, build a relationship. Build a relationship. We have lenders coming in and out. You employ them. Understand that you employ them, right? You guys employ attorneys, you employ lenders, you employ home warranty companies, you employ ADT systems. If you would refer a moving company, um, you employ them. Why are they not on your call list? Why are they not, as soon as you call their phone, picking up the phone? If they're not picking up the phone, I need to talk to somebody else because me and your level, we're not on the same page or the same level right here.
Well, I want to say something. So I have a relationship with a good lender, but I feel like she's only showed me in a situation where she would make sure my deal closed because she done some things for me where one of my clients was a independent contractor. So I haven't brought her a lot of deals, but even in the ones that I've done, she did little tedious things to make sure it didn't fall through.
Beautiful.
So I'm
Beautiful.
I'm building that relationship with her. And then when I send her people, she's patiently, working with them to structure their taxes on what they need to put on their taxes to make sure, everything is coming back properly. So I have a relationship with her that we're building, but I haven't done a lot of transactions with her so far. And then I have my on call attorney. Like she always answer for me, even on her cell phone.
Beautiful. And that's what it should be. Basically, if you don't, these are the things that's going to help you become successful. This should be part of your business plan. Like, okay, I referred to this attorney because of this. Like I said, you can't get to you got to understand like these people are the people that you depend on to help you finish your business, right? So if I depend on you and I just got mad at with I didn't get mad at, but I just was telling one of my agents this about like why is it coming up at the seventh hour that this is here and you just messed up your commission from it, right? Like wholeheartedly trust that people are working for you in your best interest. Like, because what happens is if I give you a client, just say for instance, if I'm a lender, I'm gonna give you guys two different instances. If just like Ricardo gets on our call, if you use Ricardo, if you use Tony Pierce, if you use Wintrust, whoever you guys use, right? Just say, for instance, if I call you and say, hey, I got a client that I'm trying to get pre-approved right now to purchase a house. Okay, great. I want to put you on the phone with them. Number one, if they don't get on the phone with you, there's a hiccup and a problem for me right there. Because I'm not the money person, right? I'm the person that show you houses. So I need to have a good connection with them. I have to trust my money person so good that they already know. So things happen. Don't get me wrong. We have blow-ups that are out of our control, out of your control, out of my control. It could be something deeply rooted that we did not know was going on or whatever the case is. But just say if I'm working with the buyer and I trust you as my lender. You're my preferred lender. And I send you that buyer and I say, hey, you know, such is on the phone. They get on the phone with them. They tell them to run the app. They put it all through, right? Nowadays, they are saying run the app because the app makes you put your pay stubs in, your bank statements in, or whatever. But some people don't have that stuff readily available. They call you back and say they're good to go. They're a 700 credit score. Their debt to income ratio is low. Blah 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 blah. The first thing I'm going to ask you is, did they send you in the information? Have you seen their bank statements and their employment information? No. So you're going to send me outside to waste my $20 a gallon gas, because that's what it costs in my mind, because that's the numbers I see. My $20 a gallon gas, and you really haven't pre-approved them, right? You're just telling me their credit is good, and you're going off of their word that says, I make $100,000 a year, but I forgot these write-offs because I get to write off this, and this. So when the underwriter sees this deal, they're going to say, no, they don't make $100,000 a year. They make $60,000 a year. Now I'm showing these people $500,000 houses that they cannot afford because they have write-offs. So I need my lender, before they issue me a pre-approval letter, to be able to make sure that I'm not going out unless these people are true and pre-approved. Now, things could happen along the way. We know buyers could do some stuff. Oh, I went and got extra credit. I quit my job. I fell. Things could happen along the way that's outside of my loan officer's hands, but some things are not outside of it. And if they literally issue you a pre-approval letter based on the facts of this, and this, then I know that 9 times out of 10, I'm going to close that deal. I would rather them tell me, it's sketchy. I don't know. I would not go over this amount for taxes, right? Because you're gonna like they're supposed to be able to tell you that you need to stick in the $3,000 amount for taxes. Anything over that may push their DTI up and I can't get them approved. So these are the relationships that we have to be building with these people, those that are working with hard money lenders. If you're an investor agent and you're working with hard money lenders and making sure that your investors are getting approved and doing this and doing that, these investors that you're working with, they should know what the hard money lenders are doing right now. They should know if they want 25% down, 20% down, if they want experience, what they want on the other end. That's again, if you're, it's the same thing. If I'm working with buyers or if I'm working with investors, I should have hard money lenders. Understanding how to structure your deals. I understand how to structure deals. I do understand it because, again, we had a client last year that was, I talked to the guy. I was like, what do you got on your credit? Bob, bob, bob. He told me, boom. I was like, okay, your debt to income ratio, again, should be this amount. The lender, okay, we're good. Lender gets it. Oh, we got a problem. This car note. And I'm like, what do you mean we got a problem now? That car note just didn't pop up on credit. It popped on credit when you first ran it. And so he's like, yeah, but it's throwing my DTI off a little bit. But he's a cosigner on the credit. So you shouldn't even be calculating that payment in there because the cosigner that he co-signed for is making the payments. Okay, great. Yeah, but what I found out was the cosigner is not actually making the payments. Why are we here? Why are we here? Because if you knew he was tight when we first started doing this deal, this transaction, if you knew he was tight when we first started doing this transaction, and you knew when you asked him, hey, I see you're a cosigner on this. Who's making the deal, the payment? And he says, oh, I co-signed for my son, and my son makes the payment. Can you send me the last 6 months of your son's bank statement to show that he's making that payment before I even issue this pre-approval letter? He issued the pre-approval letter. So now you looking stupid as the lender because you should have asked that from the beginning. And I asked you that from the beginning. You know, he says the son is making the payment. Did you do whatever it is that, yeah, we're good. Well, the son was making the payment, but how the son is making the payment is he's sending the money Zelle to the mother, and then the mother's making the payment. And my underwriter won't take that. Okay, no problem. Let me figure this out. Get on the phone, boom, boom, boom. What the lender told me, whatever. Call the son back. So the payment has been paid on time monthly. Let me ask you a question. Do you have a Navy Federal account? Yeah, I got a Navy Federal account. Great. Because you've been making the payments on time, can you go refinance that with Navy Federal for me real quick in your name and your name only? Okay, I'll try. Boom. He get it refinanced, loosen up that we're back to getting this person closed. I should not have to be doing that because I'm not the lender. I'm the agent, but I need my money. So I have to become very creative with this lender to do that. So again, understanding your lender. So when you run into problems like that, where they start saying, it's going to be tight, did we get all the documentation we need to support that? That's what you guys got to be able to have those conversations. Who's ever had a deal that blew up? Because they're lenders.
have.
I know somebody had.
I have.
Who is that? I can't see.
Java.
Java. Absolutely. You've had something blow up because of the lender, right?
Yeah, they it was around like after COVID, and my client had been out of work for a couple of months due to being laid off from COVID, and then they got another job, but because of the lapse in employment, they didn't qualify for the grant that the lender promised them. So we looking at houses for a good like 4 months. We're under contract. Had the appraisal. Client paid for the appraisal for them to come back and say that they didn't qualify for the grant. And then the conversation was, oh, well, can you just borrow $10,000 from somebody so that we can get to the closing table? It was like that, like one of those situations. And the thing that pissed me off the most is I had a lender that I wanted her to work with, that I know knows what they're doing. And she insisted on using her lender because her friend closed with her. And I'm like, well, your situation ain't her situation. You're not her. And people can close easy deals all day long, but we want someone that can deal with, that's a problem solver if problems come up. So she ended up not being able to close. And then really the fallout from that is she would have been buying at like 3 or 4% during the pandemic. And she would have so much equity in her house now if she had just been able to purchase, 3 years ago, 4 years ago. So
Insane. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like our lenders are the people that keeps our deals together, right? They keep our deals together and you guys got to rely on them. You got to build that reputation. Again, I told you, I just told one lender and I would never talk bad about anybody in the professional business and I would never say his name, but he closed on 2 deals for me back to back, right? With 2 different agents. I gave one agent one deal, I gave another agent the other deal. He closed back to back with both of those agents. And guess what? He screwed both of my agents back to back. And I told him I would never use you again. And he was like, "What? We got a problem?" I was like, he called me. Do we have a problem? I said, "Obviously, we got a problem if you calling me asking me that question. Absolutely, we got
Had
a
an
problem."
inspector ruin a situation for me twice.
Why would
One
I give you? Why
situation,
would
one
I
of my
employ you again?
clients, the inspector did the home inspection. My attorney advised her to get a plumbing inspection and have them put the camera down to make sure it wasn't no old roots or anything like that could potentially be an issue. So this inspector, she found herself, and my attorney still had advised her, like, well, you trust him because you tried to buy a house and he did your inspection previously, but this is what you should do. This is an older property. So she listened to the inspector and he told her, like, oh, it's not any trees around, so you shouldn't get the plumbing inspection done. You don't need that. But initially, it was trees. They tore it down and put a garage over it. So I went and looked up, like, how on Google you see the bird's eye
See the
view.
old house. Yeah.
Yeah. So I went and looked it up after she like waived this inspection. Some said, let me just go look deeper into this property. Lord and behold, we closed. The first week she moved in, the basement flooded so bad. This lady called me, cussing me out, like, oh, you sold me a property as is. You didn't tell me this, that, and other. I said, ma'am, I simply made sure I explained that to you. And then when we had an issue with the sellers with what the pricing was, I told her, we can start all over from scratch and start looking for you something else. And she was so gun-ho to buy this house. She was adamant, like, no, I really want this house. I want this house. So fast forward, she buys the house. The basement flooded. It was mold all over the walls in the basement. The flooring had buckled. She had to pay for someone to come out and dig 6 feet up under the house to find out it was an additional sub pump in the backyard that had no electricity running to it. So it didn't support the main sump pump.
Wow.
So she's saying, like, oh, it's me and the attorney fault. But no, that was your inspector fault. Even if it was certain things that wasn't visible, it's really nobody to blame, because who knew that it had a backup sump pump? But you were supposed to get that plumbing inspection done, and we would have found something else along the line that was going on with that.
Yeah.
Then I had another situation where I had an inspection for a house in Dalton that comes to find out after a week after I canceled my offer that it was Pope Leo's house that he grew up in. The house had then just went viral on the news and everything. And I had a contract that was accepted on the house. So then once we was doing the inspection, the ducts that was to the 3rd floor, which they turned the attic into a bedroom, it didn't have no heat running up there. So he told her, like, oh no, you shouldn't buy this house because it's no heat running up to the 3rd floor. So she like, yeah, we gonna cancel the contract and I'm gonna get my earnest money back because it's a few things like with some was with the roof. It was no heat on the third floor, and then they had the issue with the basement. They didn't consider those as bedrooms because they didn't have the windows in the basement.
Mm.
So
Mm.
after we canceled, she hadn't even got the earnest money back. And then I saw this house like all over the news, like, oh, this is Pope Leo's house. And I'm like, oh my God, that's crazy.
Oh, wow. Yeah, you got to be careful. You guys got to be careful. Yeah, I remember that. They were talking about that too, about it was under contract and stuff like that or whatever. So, yeah, it's really crazy. Um, Man, I've seen some crazy things in this industry. I really have, but through it all, like I've tried to figure out ways to get around it. I don't like I've just seen some really crazy things in this industry and some things that happen. We go into legal and business partners again as attorneys, title companies. When you have an executed contract, the closing process, and protecting your deals. Keeping your deals to get to the closing table is always something that is very important, but I would not suggest you take it in your hands to do it because it slows down and lags down from you getting new business. So now you really find yourself at one and done. Like, oh, I closed that deal, but I was so fixated on closing that deal that I did not go out and get more deals, right? So I was so worried about that one that I didn't get this one. I trust my people that I hire. I trust my attorneys. I trust that they're going to be able to, get this done in a time limit. I trust these individuals to protect my deals, right? The title, the lenders, all of these people, even like you just said, the inspectors, all of that. I trust them. Now, I don't want I've had inspectors that go in and be like, oh, this is a pretty good solid house. And then they be like, oh, the whole roof is about to fall in. And it's what? You just told them that this is a solid house. Like, come on now. Like, you got some actual inspectors. Like, I had this one inspector. I just told him, stop it. Let's just cut this off. Like, dude, you are not ComEd. You are not the electrician. You are not a licensed electrician. You are not going to sit here and tell me about the street poles. That's not what we finna do here. Like, come on, I'm not gonna refer you to anybody else. You just did too much. So, it's some people that overly does their jobs, right? How many of us know an attorney will kill our deal?
Man, I'm dealing with that right
Definitely.
now.
Donna's dealing with one right now where this attorney, I don't even know what to say about it, but an attorney will kill your deal, right? And in Donna's situation, she didn't refer the attorney, the seller had the attorney. So it's in instances where it's a lot of times we don't have control over it. We should always be giving people an option to go through something. You never, like Patrice just said, you never want somebody to come back to you and say, well, you gave me the lender, you gave me the attorney. I've had people say that this was all a conspiracy. You gave me everybody. No, I gave you a choice to choose from these people. You chose those people. So again, these things are things that you guys got to be able to make sure that you're working on your best interest, your with your client best interest and you. Like your attorney is an attorney that goes the long and the hard way for you. Like they make sure that you're working with buyers and you're referring them buyers that they're working through these things where again like Patrice matter happened after closing. Who told you in attorney's review if there was a question not to get that taken care of or done, right? There's things that go outside of expertise and we want to make sure that we're using our correct partners in this and making sure our partners work for us. Any questions about who you should and should not be employing? Okay, systems and AI. We talked about using your CRM system. I know after my 8-week boot camp, I do want somebody from the upper Century 21 to really show us how to get out on our CRM system. And that's going to be very important. I'm working on that now. But your CRM system is your Bible in real estate, right? It's your Bible. It goes wherever you go. If you transfer it, it goes wherever you go. It's your walk around everything for. It actually helps you always stay connected to your clients. It helps you add clients. It should run your business. Automation and follow up. All of that is in your CRM system, right? You guys got to get on your follow-up skills. Like I've told y'all, I'm bad on my follow-up skills. That's something I'm trying to re-implement and regain control over. It's really, you guys got to do that. The AI tools for outreach and analysis, scaling your business effectively, right? Systems and AI is very important with running a business, not a hustle. Those are the two differences. Who's running a business, who's running a hustle. And if you are using your CRM systems correctly, you're running a business. Congratulations. Business planning. Business planning is important because it gives us the ability of saying what we want and then saying, how do we get it, right? What I want. It could be important to me to say, I want to put 20, I'm not looking at the dollar amount. I just want to put 20 people in homes this year. So then under that plan, it tells me how to get it, whether it's prospecting, following up on my pipeline, entering them into my CRM system, tracking my numbers, whatever it is, setting my income goals, setting my number goals, business planning, I would always say this should have been number one. Business planning is number one, guys. Plan your businesses out. You got to sit down. You got to take the time to say, I will instruct you. Like I said, I see I got a lot of one-on-ones coming up. Great. Get on the schedule. Make a one-on-one because, excuse me, make a one-on-one, guys, because at the end of the day, I want you to be so savvy, so beastie in this business, in this industry, that I want you guys to be like, look, my goals are so obtainable. They're so at reach, right? Without me having to work this hard. If I got 30 that I want to close, it's like, man, it's right there. Like they're right there. Those 30 people are like right there, right? I've set the blueprint. All I got to do is X, Y, and Z. And I set the blueprint for that, right? If I say I want to work with 10 investors this year and sell each one of them a property and they sell it back with me, that's 20 deals I did, right? That accomplishes what I needed to do. But it's literally sitting down and putting together that as a business plan. And we're going to be going in depth with you guys on your business plan and what you should be doing to actually make it happen. Because setting the business plan, as they say, works without faith without works is nothing. When you set that business plan, you gotta work it. You know, you gotta say, what's my daily habits, right? So if I'm a buyer's agent, my daily habits is talking to people, converting them from rent to buy. Talking to people, converting them from rent to buy. Those are my daily habits, right? So that means that I'm going to do X, Y, and Z this week because every week I need to be in front of X, Y, and Z amount of people to make this goal that I want obtainable. It's not hard if I'm a part-timer. If we're sitting down, I'm going to tell you, do not set any unrealistic goals because I'm going to be deep with it. I'm going to tell you, this is what you did. I got a system that really like breaks it down. This is what you did over the last couple of years. And now you're telling me you're finna close 90. Stop. That is not going to happen. This is not going to happen. Let's be realistic here. Let's work with what we have, the time allowed it we have based on what what you do on your off time, family, all of that stuff. Let's be realistic.
Can I say something really
Yes.
quick? So listen, that's my objective, like coming from out of property management. I'm just prospecting off of my sphere of influence with all of the people that I've been dealing with from my management. So I ran into so many women that can financially afford a mortgage, but they have done so much BS over the last couple of years where their taxes, like these girls was doing like the tax hike where they was getting a $30,000 tax scheme they was running a few years ago. So
I don't know that one.
so listen, this was something going on where they was going to all these fake tax preparers that's on Instagram and Facebook with their arms folded up with the laptop saying, come let me do your taxes. And they're not even getting their taxes back. I've had 4 ladies I've talked to in the past 2 days that's having an issue with their taxes because they went and did the get rich scheme for the money and now they can't even get the taxes.
Mm. Mm.
I'm like, see, you cannot listen to people and let them put you in these compromising situations. You have to be smart because everybody think when there's money on the line, they pose to jump for these opportunities. And I'm like, now it hurts you in the long run because you was thinking like, oh, it was something that the government had going on and you was entitled to it. You was not entitled to that money.
Mm. Wow. Yeah, that's unfortunate that that happened. That's like really unfortunate that that happened. But you know, hey, those people are gonna always be people. It's always gonna be an opportunity. COVID was the biggest opportunity around. Like again, all things that it's just that's how opportunities are. It was a design again set up for a community to fail, and they succeeded. That's exactly what they did. They succeeded it.
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
the our culture definitely they didn't took like several seats. Like
Absolutely.
they
I,
have
I
took
went to go close a
several.
deal, one of my deals, and it came up with unemployment on my judgment background. And I'm like, unemployment? I'm like, I've been working for myself since like 2008. Who filed unemployment? Somebody filed unemployment with my social security number. Baby, these people would scheme and scam on anything.
Wow.
So it's literally now I'm going to the social security office like, I didn't file unemployment. So it's always, you ain't gave me a check. It's always something out there where, people gonna find a way in the pathway to scheme. Going into
Yeah,
the
yeah.
pathways.
It's
Uh,
crazy because now it's like women that they get manipulated. I know a lot women we become vulnerable,
oh, absolutely.
and it's just us being in elements where people you get comfortable with somebody and then you can easily be taken advantage of. So I had this conversation with a long-term friend. I've been working with her to get her into the home buying stages, but here it goes back a relationship. She took out like credit cards and put authorized user for a guy she was dating, and then he burned the cards out. Now she's ready to buy a house and she can't because her credit cards is maxed out, and then now it's in collections. So
That's
I'm girl. Stop being nice. Like you cannot be nice to people no more. You have to tell people stand on your own 2 legs.
absolutely. You are correct. So all of our training comes down to pathways, right? How to make a hybrid model opportunity for your business. That's what it all comes down to. How to make a hybrid model opportunity for your business, whether you're the investor agent. Again, if you're an investor agent, will I get some regular deals? Yeah, because I'm promoting on social media that this is like, I make people look so good where I'm like, oh, they're closing on this property. I sold this property for this amount. This is how much they made off of it. Boom, boom, boom. That's my investor agent. So will I get buyers along the way? I will. Will I get listings along the way? I will. Will I turn them down? I will not turn them down. But will I Is that my hybrid business? Is that what I go after? I don't go after that, right? So I'm not telling you guys intentionally, like, will you get deals that's not in your plan? You will. You're still going to close on those deals, but that's not the business that I structure every single day. I structure a business every single day. If I'm an investor agent, if I'm a listing agent, if I'm a buyer agent, I structure that business every single day. My buyer agent is to build repeat clients, right? it, I'm not looking for buyers. I'm built up a business so big that I'm known as I'm the agent you're gonna tell this person about, or call my agent, or call my agent, or call my agent. Man, my agent got me approved without this. I got one guy, a truck driver that I sold a house to 4 years ago. I got him so good in the house that he didn't think he can get into. Guess what? That guy has sent me in like, I don't even, it was probably like 3 or 4 years ago. He's probably sent me 8 clients that got done. 8 clients. People be calling me like I was referred by Marquise, right? I gotta call Marquise and thank Marquise. Man, thank you. Thank you for that client. His wife will send me a message. I sent these 2 people to you, because I built that everlasting that made them feel good. They got the house of their desire. They got all of that stuff, and they constantly will send me deals. Another lady does it. I always send my people to you. I always send my people to you. I appreciate that. Right? That's my build and repeat clients, because if I go into the year saying I need this many deals to close, I better get some repeat clients in there. I got to better get some referrals from a client that I passed in the closed in the past. That's what makes me an amazing buyer agent. Listed agent is control inventory, right? If I know, again, if I just sold a property, if I listed a property in Chatham, and again, if I sold that property for $400,000 at final walkthrough, at open house, especially when the weather is, I can see y'all don't want to do it when it's cold out, because I ain't gonna tell you I would do it when it's cold out. But especially when the weather is breaking and the weather is good, what is it to take that flyer that said just sold and knock on everybody's door on that block and maybe a few blocks surrounding it? We could do for the exercise and say, hey, I just wanted to call you and tell you that the house down the street sold, and it sold at a record-breaking price in the area. I just wanted to leave you with my card and this flyer, and if you have any needs for real estate, call me. I control the inventory. I control that area now. Remember, we talked about why is it that in your particular area that you got houses closing on your block? You got 300-400 houses that close and you didn't close one of them in your particular area because you're not controlling inventory. As a good listing agent, if you specialize in only building your business up to become the best, the most amazing listing agent, guess what? I control inventory around me. If I say I'm going to list 30 properties this year, I'm going to list them in the same area because I control inventory in that area. I'm going to be making calls weekly. I'm going to be driving by. I'm going to be getting to know neighbors. I'm going to be doing all of that because I control that. If you're not in control of it, you lose control of it. So, any questions about agent pathways? Who are you guys? Let me find out. Let me see some faces here. Who is everybody? What kind of agent are you? Y'all don't never have y'all. I'm gonna stop showing my face too here. Nobody ever shows their face. But what kind of agent are you? Donna, what would your practice be? What would you like to be?
Um, for me, it's going to be the investor agent and listing, because I mean, those two just go together for me
Correct.
in my mind. Like strategically, that's what I know I can do time wise, right? Just knowing what I have time for. So that's me.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Latonya, who are you?
I'm sorry, say that again.
What kind of agent are you?
I'm sorry, I can't even think right now. I don't even know.
Okay, I'll come in. I'm gonna be I'm a buyer's agent coming
Beautiful.
from literally people being renters from me doing property management. I feel like I'm their go-to person to get them started on the new path and the new journey.
And that's
Coming
all we're going to
from
work on this year, Patrice. And we're going to
yes,
sit there, we're going to put together your plan, we're going to put together your presentation, we're going to do all of that because that's your pathway forward. And that's all you should focus on is I am a buyer's agent.
buyer's agent.
That's
Yes.
it, and that's all. Uh Java, because Java done gave
I
me a
don't know
couple.
why I knew you was about to call on me.
Because
I
you
had
done
my
gave
finger
me
right
a
on the
couple of
button.
agents, okay? Like I'm gonna do this,
Yeah,
this. Well,
yeah,
we
I'm
can't.
all over the
Java
place.
Java is that girl, bottom line.
But Java has to specialize in something. And when other stuff picks up and comes around, Java got to learn how to, I'm going to make some money off of that and get it away because the moment you reroute from what your plan is the moment that you lose the plan. So
Right. So
what do you
my
see?
my idea is kind of twofold. So definitely investor agent, like for sure, for sure. But the soft spot in my heart is helping seniors downsize. So because it serves two purposes because I can get the properties to my investors because I'm going direct to the source with the seniors, but I'm also helping people um, not get taken advantage of. You know what I mean? And helping them to like, if they need to do senior living or if they want to buy a condo or if they want to do a ranch. Um, yeah, that's my focus. But then also partnering with other agents to leverage my time. So if I can't do those things, recognizing that's not my wheelhouse and making sure that I get it to somebody that can service it all the way through.
Okay, can I interject into that?
Yes,
Love it, love everything. Passion does not equal income.
that is correct.
Passion does not equal income. So the passion is to help senior citizens. That doesn't equal income. Now, in the world where you're like, I'm just getting back, I'm going to do X amount of deals right now. If I'm going to instruct you as your managing broker, sponsoring broker, whatever it is, I'm going to tell you, let's focus on you with listings and let's focus with you on listings and actual investor market, right? So when we sit down with our plan is going to be boom, 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 boom. This is how you get that right. Passion comes later because first of all, it takes a lot to build up a business for that senior business, right? And is Delaney still on here? She fell off. Delaney was on here, but she actually is a licensed facilitator for nursing home business and stuff like that. So she does a lot of that already. Now, she gets paid like on a level of, I think it's her job too. Can't quite remember, but I would say that that would be a good forte for her to go into. And at the end of the day, if there is like a place that she can have you come into to talk or whatever the case, that would be good. But I'm gonna say your best to get to the level and the goals that you want to get to. I would say right now that would not be the level that I would see you in your business plan is the senior part of it. That's not this year. Like that's what I would personally say. Now you're more than welcome to do with what you want to, because I would want to see you reach your goals, meet your goals, and not work as hard to get there.
Well, a hard head makes a soft you know what.
You know it?
And I always have blazed my own trail no matter what.
Absolutely.
I feel like the senior thing, I feel like that's more of a long-term
Mm-hmm.
thing that I would need to put together and build up over time. So I'm not expecting that to be
Okay.
gangbusters. I do want
Okay.
to definitely focus on the investor part of it to just generate some capital because, like, I'm digging out the ditch right now. So
Yeah.
I need to just generate lots and lots of capital is first and foremost. But I do want to put together a plan because I think ultimately having those relationships with the nursing homes and having relationships with seniors when they are ready to sell, I want them to think of me. So it's like,
Absolutely.
wraparound services. So like if somebody, and I enjoy the work. So like you said, it's not all about money. It's like a little soft spot in my heart. But I hear everything you're saying. So like I said, I'm gonna do whatever you tell me to do, Tawana. And then when I make that money, then I can figure something else out on the back end. But
Absolutely.
yeah.
Absolutely, because the problem is because that's what I'm saying, because I know where you're at currently and what you're needing to do currently, I can't say that you can give this amount of time right now because this is what you need to be doing on a daily habit. Now, in the midst of it, it's okay to build relationships over time. Like what I would be looking at is I would be like I wouldn't be going to visit nursing homes. Like that would be if that's a business I want to deal with, I probably wouldn't be going to deal with nursing homes because at that point, a nursing home that like they've already stepped in and said they gonna do their fame to claim on the property, right? They've already stepped in. Where I would want it to go is prior to the nursing home. So I would be building relationships with like agencies that refer, that works with seniors. There's a 311 senior agency. There's a lot of different agencies that work with the seniors or whatever, right?
Got
And
one for
so
you guys. Sorry. Department of Human Service, DHS. So these people that have like those home care providers that's coming
yeah,
into
that's
their
what I'm
houses
talking about.
taking
Yeah.
care of them.
Hmm.
Get with that company, DHS, and then they can also give you pretty much like leverage to talking with, say if they got like an estate where they kids and stuff is telling them like, oh, we finna transition them out of this house into the senior home. So what can I put this house on the market then? Since you guys are moving them into one of those live-in facilities, so now they don't need this single family home no more and they're going into those facilities. So yeah, like Department of Human Service, Java, that would be great because they dealing with seniors that they're transitioning out of their homes, and then even the
Well,
ones
aren't
that
nursing homes like when they do get their tenants, don't they have to dispose of those properties in order to generate income?
They
Also,
can't dispose of it.
no, they
what do they
have
do with
like
it?
They
their
don't dispose of
children.
it. They'll lean it.
They put a lien on it?
Yeah, they'll lean it.
So
You
then
ain't
if-
never seen so many properties that got Illinois Department of Human Services liens on them. There's
yes, I
liens
didn't know
on
what
them.
I was looking at.
Yeah, they lean them. They can't make them sell it. They'll lean them. For sure
Okay.
they'll make them lean them, but what happens is so just say for instance, if I wanted to be a person that works with the seniors on that, like there's so many components right there to me that would say where do I go at it at? Because once they become a senior citizen inside of a nursing home or inside of an assisted living or some kind of building like that, and they've moved out their house, right? Some facilities will put caregivers over it, and that caregiver will say, well, when we lien the property, we can foreclose on the property. You get what I'm saying?
Hmm.
So they would do something like that. But for the most part, like that could be something smart too, is that you're looking on Cook County Recorder of Deeds for those type of liens, right? In 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 that particular grantor situation, like who am I looking for? Because maybe I can run through that list. But what I would want to do is just be at senior events. Like I would want to
Hmm.
be more at like senior events that's held by state, Like I would want to understand that. So maybe as Patricia said, going through the Illinois Department of Human Services saying, "Hey, do you guys have any events for seniors? What do you guys do in terms of that?" And I would just want to show up and start building on that. I wouldn't want to put too much on that. Just start showing my face and say, "Hey, I have a passion of working with, people that are transitioning out of their homes, to help them, like the one wish, what is it, like the category of a one wish, the people, what is that, where they sick and
Make a
like
Wish,
the one wish
the
thing,
Make a Wish
whatever, the Make a Wish,
Foundation for the
there it is, the
kids.
Make a Wish Foundation. So
Uh-huh.
like I would be one that be like, oh, I created this cool thing where, it's like a make a wish for a senior, like especially those that are getting to a point like, what do they want to do with all the money that they built into the equity of their house? Like maybe I'd start talking to reverse mortgage people. Like I used to work reverse mortgages. Like what I would be doing something in the instance where that builds up. That's not like that's a one in maybe once a month I pop out at this kind of senior event, right? And then
Uh-huh.
that traction starts bringing traction in because when I went to this senior event, I made friends, I made this, I made that, or whatever the case is. Right now, the biggest thing is baby boomers. So if
Yeah.
you are a person that is like, you know what, the baby boomers are the generation that's coming up next on senior living. I talked about that yesterday. Like there's a whole building in Lansing and they got to have a target market to go after people to say, do you want to live here? Right. So they got to target and they got to advertise for that stuff. Right. So that's the kind of market that I want to go after. Is like those people are definitely 55 and older. There are definitely ones that's like, do I downsize right now? What do I do? But to me personally, that's more like a compassion. Like I want to work with them. Like, right. I want to offer my hand. And if a deal comes in for me offering my hand, beautiful. Right. That's what it looks like to me when I think about that community. I want to offer my hand. And if a deal comes in when I offer my hand, beautiful.
Yeah, that's accurate.
Right? Because there's so many different components that go with that. Like, oh God, like, okay, most people are now like, shoot, at this age that I'm at, I already want to put into a care facility for myself if I see fit to go to my 80s and 90s, because I would not depend on nobody I know to take care of me.
And the other crazy part too is like and I'm a millennial too, but these millennials don't know what the hell to do. And I had a situation last year where it was a caretaker gave me a referral. Her patient passed away, and we were able to get the house so without it going through probate. I had someone come in and do the clean out, and they got paid at closing, so they didn't have to come out of pocket for anything. And I got them like top market for the property. And it was a normal transaction for me, but they would have been lost if they didn't have me, guiding the way. So I know that in this business you have to nurture and you have to hunt. Like you got a farm and you got to hunt. So you got to be planting seeds all
Mhm.
along the way. But like I told you before, my issue has always been lack of focus. Like I'm like a little squirrel that sees a nut over here, sees a nut, and just runs all over the place. So I'm gonna use you as my my guideline. Like if you see me tweaking,
Yeah.
grab my tail and pull me back and like, girl, focus on this.
Absolutely. And that's the important part. That's what it all goes to. So let's wrap this up. Key takeaways tonight is opportunities are everywhere. They are everywhere. They are when we walk out the door. We have the opportunity.
Planning. I'm learning more planning my days in advance. So as for Monday, I knew what I supposed to do for Wednesday. Tuesday, I need to know what I'm doing on Thursday. Thursday, what I'm doing on Saturday. Like
Absolutely.
planning.
Yep. Opportunities are everywhere. Speed plus consistency wins. So I think Java talked about that today about the client, and she like, oh, wait, I should have speeded it up. Like, yeah, speed and consistency wins. Relationships equal income, and systems create scalability. You guys got to be able to scale your business, present this as a business. If you work your systems, if you build the relationships, all of that stuff brings the opportunities that you're looking for. I promise you, if you listen, it's not hard. It's really not hard. It's opportunities everywhere. You can be on the train creating opportunities. You can be in the grocery store creating opportunities. You could be at the gym creating opportunities. These opportunities are everywhere. You cannot be afraid to talk to people. I just went and got me some barbecue. And when I got out to get the barbecue, I saw this man, and you know, he was not a man I would have been attracted to or anything of that nature. But I could tell that he was like a business person, right? Uh, like you could tell like how he was dressed. He wasn't dressed like I had on a business suit today. He wasn't dressed in a business suit, but I could tell that he put into himself. I spoke, he was on the phone as I was walking into it. He looked at me, I looked at him, I said, "Hey, how you doing?" Walked into the restaurant. Come out the restaurant, he says, "What do I have to do to drive that kind of car?" I said, "Go to the Range Rover dealership and buy it and pay the retarded car note every month."
Wow, this is like the same situation happened with me, but I was at the gas station. Get
Yeah,
out the
so
car. The guy he got a tow truck. He had a really nice car on his tow truck, and he engaged. So immediately I present myself. How you doing? So are you interested in buying or selling any homes this season? And he was like, yes, I have a house in Calumet City. I'm ready to sell. I just literally finished working on it. It was like a older property of my aunt's. She passed away. I went in there, gutted it out. Now I want to get rid of it. I
mm,
exchanged my information with him. Now he's been calling me about distressed properties and how he can start building his portfolio with single family homes.
absolutely. Now, what I would have not said is that what you just I would not have said that, right? Because
Yeah,
I
I know.
always I always fill it out. So when I came out the restaurant, when he asked me that, I was like, just go down there and buy it. He was like, oh, okay. He was like, what do you do for a living? He said, I already got it in mind. I said, I sell real estate. He said, I already knew it. And so I was like, oh, how did you know it? He said, because I just knew it. I felt it. I was like, oh, what do you do for a living? And he says, I don't sell real estate. I'm not a licensed broker. He said, I manage portfolios for some investors in New York. And I was like, okay, we need to talk. And I gave him my card, and he was like, yeah, he was like, I deal with a lot of different investors in New York. They're buying a lot of properties. I'm over here because we just bought two properties right there in Bronzeville and boom, boom, boom. And he was like, I want to become a broker too. And I was like, absolutely. I said, let's all work together. So then he mentioned, I said, who's the investor in New York? I know a lot of investors in New York. And he said, Izzy. I said, call Izzy. And he was like, what? And I said, call Izzy. And he was like, call him. I said, do you want me to call him? And because I'm gonna put you on the spot. And he was like, you know Izzy? And I was like, you pull up the Izzy you working with it. I'm gonna pull up the Izzy that I work with out of New York. And voila, both the numbers match. He was like, get out of here. I was like, yeah. And so he was like, oh my God. And I said, well, won't you come by our office? We're on 63rd Street. And he was like, yeah, I've been working with a lot of these guys, and they got a lot of portfolios here. And I work with their lender and stuff like that. And I was like, yeah. He was like, man, but it's literally having a conversation everywhere you go.
Mhm.
Everywhere you go. Like just
Yeah.
being able to have conversations again. The conversation was just what you drive, what's this, what you do for a living, and then it went into real estate. Like with Patrice, I wouldn't have said as soon as he looked at me like, you want to back
No, but it
yourself to real
actually
estate?
wasn't. It led to that because
Okay.
in the midst of the conversation, it started a little bit different first. I
Okay.
told him to
Okay.
fill my
Good.
gas tank up. I tell you want to fill up my gas tank. He said, yeah, how much I need to put in there? I'm like, it costs $100. So that transition took place first. Then we jumped
Got it.
into
Got it.
real
Okay.
estate.
Because I was
No, I
like,
ain't want to throw all my business out there now.
okay. So you don't just, right. So conversations are bought up in real estate. Like I said, you could be a sports mom and you could be talking to one of the parents on the sports team and be like, whoo, girl, I'm tired. Like, I gotta go get in my real estate class. Real estate been picking up. You don't have to necessarily go at it like you want to buy or sell some real estate. Have
Mhm.
conversations, right? It's like have conversations with them. You could be seeing the same person every single day, and all y'all do is this to each other. Hey, or you may not even do hey. Get to know that person. Hey, how you doing? I see you every single day. My name Tony. What's your name? Okay, cool. So at least now when we see each other, we ain't got to just give each other a smirk. We could speak to each other. Absolutely.
Yeah.
That didn't have to happen that day that I had a conversation with that person, right? Great. So now every single day I'm, hey, how you doing, April? Hey, Tony, how you doing? Boom, we going at it, right?
Mm.
One day me and this person just so happen to, oh, okay. We obviously seeing each other every single day, whether it's at work, whether it's at the train station, whether it's at the grocery store I go to, whether it's in the gym, whatever the case is. Like we used to go to a step class at the gym. And y'all know I talk a lot, so I end up knowing everybody. And like we would go in and oh, that's this person, that's this person, that's this person, or whatever the case is, because I'm gonna start speaking to you. Hey, how you doing? What's going on? Whatever the case is. Like building up the repertoire of a relationship does not automatically start with you're gonna sell them or buy them a house. It starts with I see you all the time and I just want to get to know your name. Then maybe one day I'm gonna walk in with a sweater on and say, I sell houses. I didn't come off to you that way, and you're gonna be like, oh, you sell houses? Oh, okay. Girl, yeah, I'm looking for a house. Beautiful.
That was me today with my head on.
What it
And
say?
I was at Staples, but man says real estate is not a hobby, it's a lifestyle.
Absolutely. Right?
And then I have my shirts on too, and the back of my shirt says
What it say?
the same thing.
Okay, beautiful.
So I
Beautiful.
went to the gym. This was my workout outfit, and then everybody like they was looking at my booty, but they was like, "Oh, what the back of your shirt say?"
Oh God, this one is the wild child. Okay. But no, seriously, walking advertising, right? Like, yeah, say I
Yeah,
sell real
literally.
estate. Yeah, so guys, these are the key takeaways of keep creating everything to get you where you want to go. My final message is choose your lane and stay in your lane. Stay in your lane. Have you guys ever been out with somebody and like I think who it says it better, Kevin Hart say, he was successful, but he wasn't successful. And when he first went out with these basketball players, baby, I'm gonna go stay back in my lane. Y'all talking about spending $80,000 a day at the bar. No, 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 no. My money ain't that long. And if my money was that long, I don't think I would have spent $80,000 in a bar, right? So I'm gonna stay in my lane. And my lane is over here. I ain't going back over there, right? So again,
Mm-hmm.
staying in your lane creates your consistency in business. Master your scripts, master your objections. Get to the closing table, guys. I can't express that enough. Get to the closing table. You got one more day with me on your 8-week journey of building up your business to make this a successful 2026. Tomorrow we will be going over CMAs because I don't think that was about the only thing I did not go over is like how to create a comparable market analysis, how to be go over some rate of investment or return to your ROIs, to your clients, and things like that. So we'll go over a little bit of that tomorrow to conclude. If you haven't scheduled your one-on-one with Tonette, get on your one-on-one because I really want y'all, like, y'all don't know, like, I really want you guys to be so successful. Your successfulness depends on my successfulness and this vice versa, right?
It's a
So
reflection.
It's a reflection, like, right? You're the best walking advertising. If Java's telling me she wants to do 12 deals, my goal is to make sure that she does those 12 deals a month, that averages out. But at nothing else at the end of the year, that Java could wake up and say, I literally closed 60 deals this year and I don't know how. And I'm gonna say, you are my walking advertising girl. You did that, but I was there step by step with her, keeping making sure don't go off the chart. Don't move. Let's stay here. You got some momentum right here, girl. I just saw you just do 5. We got momentum right here. Let's keep going. Let's dig a little bit deeper. Let's find some more properties. Let's go walk this neighborhood. Let's go do this. Let's go do that, right? Latonya, you just closed a 2-unit building. Let's walk this neighborhood. Let's do this. Let's say, hey, you know what I'm saying? Just closed in this neighborhood. You up next, whatever the case is. You guys, you're literally, all of it depends on you, but it also depends on me making it happen with you guys. So again, I so appreciate you for joining this 8-week boot camp, because my 8-week boot camp is just about over tomorrow with the Century 21. And so as it is here, because I started at the same time. But it's been amazing. I tried to not miss too many days. I missed a few, but I always had somebody try to jump in. And you guys have showed up for yourselves, and you should put yourself a pat on the back for just showing up for yourselves, because it's not easy. It's not easy when you need money and you like, I don't need training, I need money.
Yeah, Cayenne is a good trainer for Remind.
Oh, good.
Oh, I've learned so much from her. Like,
Great.
and we sat there till about 9 o'clock one night, and like she gave me the scripts, what I need to say in AI to get my scripts, how to search the area down to, the pen. So she knows how to work that Remind, like 40 going north. She's very savvy with that. I learned a lot from her. So Cayenne, if you on here, thank you. No, I don't see her. Not today.
Okay. All right, guys. Well, you guys have an amazing evening, and I will see you tomorrow for the final class for our 8 weeks. But nonetheless, we'll always have training. I'm going to be in the office, and let's go. Have a great evening, guys.
You
I
too.
don't know why my head is hurting so bad, but oh gosh. All right, good night.
I feel better.
Might be your sinuses.
Drink some
I
hot
think it
water.
is that, Miss Bessie. I think it is my sinuses.
Yeah,
I just said that.
medicine and put a cold compress across your forehead and underneath your eyes and open up your sinuses.
Okay, mother knows best. Thank you. All right, guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.